Moving into my last subject in this episode, referees in today's NBA. Um, there's been a lot of flack over the course of the year, even before this, of referees basically impacting games a little too much. And they always say if they know your name as a referee, that's not for a good thing. Usually, if you're able to fly underneath the radar, you get the course, you might get your name here on TV or whatever the case may be. But generally, you're usually doing your job if you're unheard. When we know you by first and last name as a referee, it's probably not good in the NBA to that degree, especially the negative impacts that it's having. Ben Taylor, who has been a referee for, I believe, 10 years in the NBA, I believe he's 37 years old, has been having run ins with Fred Van Fleet. Basically, Fred Van Fleet has had enough. I believe every game that that he has been officiated by Ben Taylor, he has received a technical this season. And I believe he got 5 technicals or something like that. In the last couple games, I believe it was mid-March there, where he lashed out after a post game, basically saying it's ridiculous. It feels basically alluding that it's targeting right now, and that referees are being impacting the game a little too much, and not letting guys defend, not letting them be physical, basically not giving them a chance on that side of the ball. Marcus Smart agreed with that, so hopefully that doesn't hurt us in the playoffs. As a Celtics fan, but it is what it is. But officiating has been an issue in the NBA for quite a while. Like when you look at Scott Foster and Chris Paul, who stands out. Of course, the Phoenix Suns were complaining about the free throw disparity in the game against the Lakers. I believe the Lakers shot 46 free throws, and the Phoenix Suns shot 20. And I can understand that standpoint where you're just not getting the benefit of the whistle that night, and especially being a jump shooting team is going to be tough to get calls, especially with versus a team that's physical in the paint with Anthony Davis or any other big or anything like that. But when you look at the officiating by Scott Foster with Chris Paul, and you look at how many games Chris Paul has lost in a row officiated by Scott Foster, I believe it's like 0-14 or something like that. In the last 14 or 1-13 or something like that. So when you get disparity like that, when you get Ben Taylor targeting Fred Van Fleet, and let's say, well, if it's not targeting, whatever the case may be, it's bad officiating. And I think that's been one of the biggest issues with the NBA for quite some time. When people say the game is terrible or it sucks, team shoots many threes, I'm like, the game is evolving ever so slightly. You guys have to understand that. My biggest gripe has been the officiating. They let guys defend sometimes. They don't let them defend sometimes. Superstars get certain calls that they're supposed to get, and I understand that they're not supposed to get, whatever the case may be. Or a role player might do the same move as a star player and not get that call. Sometimes there's superstar calls. There's going to be favoritism in terms of those guys that get the ball on a 1990 basis and get to that volume and drive to the basket, get players in certain situations that they shouldn't be in, and players are going to take advantage of it. That's the rules of the game. That's perks of the game. That's how you're going to approach it. But when officiating is impacting the game where guys are getting fast techs for showing emotion in a basketball game, I think that's wrong. And of course there's levels to it and there's ways around it and stuff like that. But when guys are getting texts for showing emotion, basically angry at a call, whatever the case may be, there should be a time period where the guys are able to vent, able to lash out for a second, and then bring themselves back in. The game is passionate. This is a passionate game. And I feel like too many times the referees try to take no flack. And to hear that Ben Taylor has been demoted, something was going on. That means something was going on. I believe his crew got suspended. I don't want to say suspended, but they got demoted. And they haven't been on a couple of games, I believe, in a week or so. So something obviously is happening in the NBA. And if the NBA is finally taking initiative towards their referees officiating the game, awesome. I'm for that. And I feel like that's something that should be in the game a long time ago. And I feel like, and of course, there is a grading system I believe the NBA uses for the playoffs and stuff like that. And guys get the okay for the finals and stuff like that. But there's been rumors, especially with Scott Foster, extending series. If the NBA wants to get them a win, they put Scott Foster on the call because they know he's going to give certain calls. He's going to officiate a certain way to impact the game. That's been the rumor. That's been alleged. Some people have said they've seen it. They count the calls, whatever the case may be. But when you have D'Angelo Russell, when they were playing Phoenix, saying, hey, Scott Foster's calling the game tonight. We got this in the bag. That doesn't look good because now the players obviously know. And saying on national TV, D'Angelo Russell putting himself in the pickle again. What does that say? That says the players know, the league knows, something's going on here. And whether that's true or not, it doesn't look good. So the NBA is definitely going to take a look at this. I believe they're going to get this under wraps. But I believe the officiating in the NBA has been the worst part of the league. At certain points, they have been very, very good with calls, not calling certain stuff, letting guys play. And then other times, they just gunk up the game and mess up the game. And I understand they're going to call it a certain way on certain nights. But when that happens, that's not good. When you impact the game to that level. And the biggest fear is that there's going to be a big playoff game happening. And I'm afraid this might happen, especially with the way officiating has been going this season, that a star player is going to get ejected from a game over something small. That's the worst thing the league can want. That's the worst thing the NBA can want. That's the worst thing the players want, other referees want, because now everyone's looking at the game fishy. And I feel like that's going to happen sooner than later. That's the scary part. And again, let's give the referee some credit here. They have a tough job on a night-to-night basis. They're going to give superstar calls because they get the ball most of the time. The volume of shots they shoot, that's going to happen. Some superstar calls are going to happen. That comes with the territory, sorry. But when they're impacting the game like they've been this year, in the past, allegedly, whatever the case may be, that's not a good look for the NBA. So hopefully they're able to figure that out. Because that doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to happen at all. The game is too good at a place. The game is evolving. We do not need the referees messing up the games. And especially with sports gambling, all this stuff going on, there's people out there allegedly, the Tim Donaghy thing. Nobody wants that again. That was bad for the NBA in the early 2000s. We do not need that again. So hopefully the NBA can figure this out, continue to move forward, continue to progress the game, continue to make officiating game. They got rid of the clear path foul where guys stop a fast break. Kudos to them for finally doing that. The game is not easy. But these referees making it hard to watch, man, when they mess up the games like that. They can't continue to do that. But that will do it for this episode of the Basketball Soapbox. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I see you guys are liking the shorts. Awesome. Continue to comment. Keep commenting. I like the back and forth with fans and people who want to talk the game. That's awesome for me. I love doing that. Continue to do that. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share the link. Let's keep this basketball conversation going. But until next time, episode 37, as we wind down for the NBA season, will be coming up sometime next week, as well as ring takes this week as we make our WrestleMania predictions with Brian and Lewis. Looking forward to that, especially WrestleMania being next weekend. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. But join me next time. And until next time, I'll see you guys.